Got something pretty cool on the dyno for you guys today. It's a NHRA stock automatic car. Yeah, so check it out. We're running through. This is a really old school EFI setup. It's got an Excel DFI on it still, which is pretty popular in like the early 2000s stuff. I happen to have tuned one previously, so these guys brought this down here and see what we can squeeze out of it. Alright, so here's this Firebird. It's I believe this is a 94, but it's got the 95, 96 front end stuff on it. It is still an LT1, an early LT1. Check out all the data. It's got individual EGTs, that kind of thing. Still an OptiSpark spark distribution thing, which is like down here, driven off it's behind the water pump. They were pretty prone for failure, known for failure early on, because the water pumps would die and then basically just leak coolant all over the distributor at that point. But this car's super nice. My customer has just picked this up. It's kind of seems like it's been around for a little while anyway. He's so far with his best, I think, with what they called was like a bracket race tune-up, and it went a 1080 something. Yeah, full-blown race car. Got some wheelie bars on it. You know, typical drag car stuff for this style of racing. Yeah, curious to see what we can get out of it. Like I said, it is an Excel DFI car. So this thing, like being straight up race car stuff, check out all the electronics in the passenger seat. For you more modern EFI guys, this is like, what in the world is going on? So this is like the ECU, the wideband controller up there, just their power distribution. It's got an MSD box running the distributor. This is a data log setup here. So yeah, it's got some neat stuff, old school stuff, but it's cool. I dig it. Went through the rules in the class a bit, trying to figure out what we can change and try to squeeze out a little bit more, kind of thing. And you know, these classes get pretty extravagant with what people do to them to try to make some power. I mean, a little bit here and there is huge in a class car like this. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into this thing, make a baseline run, and then we'll make some hits, see what we can change, if we can squeeze a little bit more out of it, and try a couple things. So check it out. Alright, just wrapped up with that Camaro. Made 396 horsepower, 372 foot-pounds of torque. The numbers from when it came in to when it left were pretty similar. I actually forgot to take the finishing half of the video when the car was still here, so that thing's gone. Working on something new, so I don't have like an exit video or anything. They took it to the track this weekend. I'm excited to hear back from them. Haven't heard anything yet. But we played with a few things. We tried removing the air cleaner. Obviously, I moved the fuel targets around. I moved the timing targets around. Nothing had a huge positive impact on it. The tune when it came here was pretty aggressive in that they had like 35 degrees of timing in it all the way down to I like 3,800 RPM off the top of my head, trying to remember that stuff. I was able to pull 5 degrees out of it down there and make the same torque number. They had fought with it being inconsistent with coolant temperature previously, and their coolant temp fuel enrichment was kind of all over the place. So I straightened that out, and with a little bit less timing, I actually did a couple pulls on the dyno. They were leaving the starting line. They were trying to stage the car at 140 degrees previously. So I did a hit at 140, and then I did a hit at 165 starting temp, and they made within 2/10 of the same horsepower. So hopefully that'll make the car more consistent, just based on coolant temp. So yeah, that's it. You know, guys, that drag race know how that goes. Sometimes you're in the burnout box and car's running, sitting there running, and the car breaks down, and you got to sit there for 15 minutes, and the coolant temp changes. If you let it run too long, you know, you just got to keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And a car that's sensitive to coolant temp changes in ET bracket racing, it was very difficult to race. So hopefully we affected that. Anxious to hear back from them. But that's it for this video. So subscribe and keep following along with the rest of them. I'm about to tune this supercharged LS swapped Cherokee Chief, so that'll be a video coming up soon. So check that thing out. Talk to you guys soon.